Ah, Good evening, friends. This is again we are here, Board of Studies, with the series called Run at 100. And today it's one of the more important and aspect of your career as well as your life, which we are going to discuss. And our the valuable speaker is here. So today we will be talking. She will be talking on how to become a finance influencer and the thought leader in a CA field. So you understand that this will be a very intuitive lessons which will help you to grow in your profession as an individual and as a good influencer, where you will be requiring this good decision making, handling of the different complex situations, and obviously this is a part of your soft skill which will help you to make your mind strong and your abilities more adjustable to the situations, changing situations. Coming back to my things, the today's speaker, she is CA Jyoti Malkhani from the Finance City, Mumbai. Now, she is an accomplished educator, and you will be very glad to know that she is our master faculty also for our different programs for students as well as for members. And she has a proven track record of training many individuals and students and professionals and entrepreneurs, and with all kind of excellence she has got in training, teaching, and this kind of thought. She will be helping you out in all different sectors of this topics, and she will be touching you all the things which you are required. So any questions, whichever you feel, you may put it down so that at the end of a session we can have a thorough discussions with her and you get all your doubts clear. So welcome, madam, from Board of Studies. This is a very auspicious occasion when you are, from your time, you are giving us to our students so that they become a better chartered accountants and a more knowledgeable persons. Over to you, madam, CA Jyoti Malkani ji.
Thank you, the entire team of Board of Studies, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to address students on this topic. Now, so students, good afternoon, everyone. One quick question. I mean, I did see a lot of questions you have already put up also in the chat box, and I'm sure my discussion or my conversation today will I'll try to answer almost all of them in my conversation today. So I had one question before I start with this discussion. Uh, the topic given today is about being a financial influencer and a thought leader. So when you use the word financial influencer, what do you think about a financial influencer? Who is a financial influencer or a finance influencer, to so to speak? You can put your answers in the chat box. I'll be able to see the answers here.
Madam, chat box is not available to them, madam. They are connected through
Oh,
webinar, madam. So I'll get it, madam. I'll get back.
okay. Okay, so if you are not able to put up anything, then
To start, madam, there is nobody has answered it now.
okay, fine, no problem. I'll continue as a
Yeah.
discussion. And then towards the end, I think we'll take up questions.
Yes,
That
yes,
would be a
yes,
better
correct.
way because I thought of making it interactive during the course of our discussion. But never mind, we can do it in a different manner altogether. So, yeah, I mean, what is the thing when we talk about influencer or a financial influencer? Or I'll do one thing, I'll share some, slide where you can put up the answers right there in your own words. Okay, just give me a moment. That would be much more interesting rather than me just speaking on it. All right. So I'm sharing a QR code on the screen. Please scan the QR code and on your instrument, mobile, laptop, whatever you are using, just scan this and click on the link. You will get my questions right there. Can you see the question? Once you scan it, that would be a better way to probably create the engagement. Yes? Has everyone clicked on the link, and can I get a yes, no? I'll zoom it a bit for your reference. Just scan the QR on your mobile or wherever, any other instrument, and you will be able to get a link where you will see my first question. What is and what is, what do you understand by when you hear the word influencer? Please put your answers there. Who influences the decision of, okay, fine. So now I'm getting the answers. Who influences the decision of a person? Okay. The rest of you, are you able to QR? Alternately, I'll also share a link with you so you can have a look at that. Those who could not check the or scan through the QR, I've sent the link also. The question is still open and I'm checking the responses. So there are 4 responses yet. Can I get more people to respond? Come on, we have to be talking, right? So someone says who influences the decision of a person? A person full of knowledge of one thing and helping other also to learn that thing. Okay? One who makes others agree on thoughts. Who can influence others' decision making? To convince someone by creating an impact on his mind. Okay? I'll also share the responses that I'm getting so everyone would know what's happening. Here you go. These are the answers that I'm getting. So guys, please put up your answers here. Let's understand what's in the mind of people when you hear the word influencer. Lovely. An online task maker who leverages their social media reach to shape opinions and trends. Great. Okay. Something more. Come on. Sir, how many participants are there? 150 plus? So I can get at least that many responses, and there are only 6 on the screen. I've shared the link, I've shared the QR. It shouldn't be that challenging for students to be so not so tech savvy. So come on, please put up your responses here. I see only 6 responses. Influencer means person who has some set of experience in a particular field in which he tries to share info and conversation with issues which it is related to. Lovely. Okay. 2 more responses and then we move ahead. Come on. You all can put up points here. Nothing? Okay. Well, a lot of it has already been said, as most of you have already put across who influences the decision of a person who is full of knowledge and helping others to learn that thing. Okay, great. So at the end of the day, you all agree that that person has to be knowledgeable on some topic, right? And when we are from the field of finance as professional chartered accountants, or you as future professional chartered accountants, let us understand that it's all about creating an impact with your knowledge, with your information in the minds of people, right? That's what we call an influencer to be. This world is flooded with a lot of information all over the place. I mean, there's nothing new. We all are on social media and we've seen how information is fast, quick, and shared across everyone. But what is important is that when somebody seeks professional guidance, okay, that is where we come into the picture. As professional chartered accountants or as future professionals, I would always address my students as future professionals, right? So, as future professionals, you must understand that we give financial information with credibility. And that credibility is what makes that impact of being influential. Okay, so when we speak something as chartered accountants, the world takes it as a statement that has value. That's what credibility is all about. And that needs to be noticed in the eyes of public. And that is when it gets noticed, it's what we call about influencing people. Okay. So a lot of it has already been said. Person who makes a set of experience in a particular field in which he tries to share info and conversations with issues which it is related to. Absolutely right. So when a person does a conversation, now there are a lot of aspects when you do a conversation with a person. When people look up to you as a certain person who is knowledgeable in finance, in taxation, in accounting, what do they look up to? And when we are talking in today's day and age, physical presence is important as well as digital presence is important. So when I talk about physical presence, it's about networking, it's about being available offline, okay, reaching out to people offline. And of course, a lot of it is, if I talk in a ratio, 70 to 80% is online, digital, and that's where we all connect. Like we are speaking today on this forum, I'm connected to almost a lot of students across on a digital platform. Digital platform definitely means social media, and therefore that becomes very important for us as professionals to be active there and to be present there. Now the question comes is, what do we speak about? We know a lot as professional chartered accountants. We learn various topics, learn various subjects, but what is it that we want to create an impact about? Okay, so that makes me come to my next question, okay, which again you can click on the link and see. Okay, it will be visible on your screen. On that link, I'm also sharing and waiting for answers. So the question is, do you want to make an impact over and above just passing exam? Do you want to make that impact in the minds of people? Online, offline, we will discuss that. And I think I'll address most of your questions also. But do you want to make that impact? Is it yes, no, or you're still not decided, you don't know what to do? You can select your option. The link is the same. Please just click on the answer. Those of you who have not got the link, you can use this code which is mentioned here. Okay. Go to menti.com and put this code, you will be able to come to this page. So it's always there on each and every page. So yeah, only one person says yes. So what about the rest of you? No, not decided. What is it all about? Come on, let's go faster. Let's go a little faster on this because there are a lot of things that I want to talk with you. But unless I don't know what you want, I'll not be able to address it, right? So please, 5 of you say yes, lovely. More numbers pouring in quickly, quickly. Six, yes, yes, yes. Can I take 6 to be the entire population? 7. Anyone not decided? No, then you will not be here. 9 saying yes, lovely. Okay. So good. 9, 10. Good, good, good. Okay, great. So when I talk about, there are still more coming in. Okay, fine. No problem. When I say that, yes, it is important for you to undergo something more beyond, just passing exams. What is it that you want? That's my next question. What is it that you want? Okay. Since we are going to be talking about being a fin influencer, being a thought leader, the opportunity for here is that, there are very less percentage of chartered accountants who actively share their knowledge. What do I mean by the word actively sharing knowledge? Sharing knowledge is easy. Okay, you have a lot of tools. Of course, I'll be talking about the tools also. But when I say actively sharing, that's where it is important for us to regularly share knowledge. Now, when I say regularly share knowledge, okay, what does that mean? It means managing consistency. Managing consistency, it could be once a week, once a month, also is fine. Depends on how fast you want to grow, what time limit you have. In exams period, it will be lesser. In non-exam period, it would be more. But make sure that you're consistent on the go, consistent in sharing your knowledge on a particular topic, be it offline or online. So, thought leadership basically creates trust, reputation, and business growth. That is what is important for us to understand. Your voice backed by your expertise, your voice backed by your expertise is more powerful than you think. And that is what we call as leaving that impact or making that influence. Moving on to how would you make that influence? How would that journey start? First and foremost, you need to. So, here is where I'm actually starting a journey of a finance influencer or a thought leader. When I start my journey as a thought leader, as a fin influencer, the first thing that I need to understand is what is my niche? What do I want to talk about? As chartered accountants, or as future chartered accountants, there is lots that we read about. There's something that we read about taxation, about GST, about the Companies Act, the accounting, IFRS, India's applications, internal controls. There is aspects of finance, financial modeling, valuation. There are so many things that we know about. Where do you want to create your niche? That is what is important, right? So, how many of you have actually thought about where do you want to create your niche? That means, what is your specialization? Have you thought about your specialization? Moving on to the next question. Okay, so the same link, please answer the question. What is your specialization? I'll share the screen to see the answers as well. What is your specialization? What do you think? Is it tax? Is it audit? Is it finance? Is it all of these? I've just tried to summarize into small baskets. Now, again, audit is very large, taxation is very large, but still, if you could just decide on any one. So, one says finance, one person says all of these. Come on, quickly, quickly. Taxation, okay. Two say finance. Oh my God, I like to see these numbers moving up and down. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, okay. You all can also watch the screen with me. Okay. Come on, more answers, faster. This is the first step, right? Building your niche that we're talking about. So if you are actively participating in this, that's where you will be able to find your niche along with me. Because otherwise 1 hour is not sufficient to do all of that. And I want you to at least get somewhere from where you are today. Okay, more answers. Come on, quickly, only 12. What's your specialization or what you would want to speak upon? When you're talking as a thought leader, as an influencer, what topic would you take? What would it be? All of these, audit, tax, what, just generic. Okay, it could be audit, it could be anything. In taxation, it could be anything. Finance, it could be anything. But randomly, I've just tried to simplify in some number of topics. So what do I say for the rest? Is it not mentioned here? Okay. Now, I see the answer: taxation 1, audit 1, 5 for finance, and 6 for all of these. My question was very simple. What is your specialization? Please note, what is your specialization? How can all of these be a specialization? We know all of these. Yes, as chartered accountants, even I know all of these. But what is your specialization was my question. Okay, and that is where the catch is. And that is what we mistake most often we do while we are trying to become thought leaders or fin influencers. We want to talk about everything and anything under the sun. I mean, it's great to express your ideas, express your thoughts on different topics, but that can't be your specialization. It has to be one. Okay. and that one should be depicted with your conversations. Your expertization is something that you're known for, that people you want, that people should know you for. Okay. So if it's about business strategy, you call yourself good in business strategy. If you, even in taxation, there is indirect tax, international tax, direct tax. What specialization do you want? Specialization is one thing, and that is how an expert speaks. When you talk about influencer, okay, let's talk about some of the well-known influencers today. CA Rachna Ranade, she's talk about the stock market, right? And that is where she creates that impact. That's her specialization. Specialization it has to be one. Select that. That takes time, okay, for each one of us to understand what is the area of my expertise, what is that one area that I would like to talk upon and I can talk upon, that I am interested upon. That can be only, you may know everything, and at times you can also talk on different topics, but specialization, that is more often you put content about, you speak about, you talk about, has to be one. Okay. I'm not saying that, once, if let's say, if I say that my specialization is business strategy, so if I talk about business strategy and how startups use different strategies and how CA could contribute and things like that, you will see me talking about all of that. You'll be seeing me talking about as a trainer upon communication and various elements of speaking. Definitely so. But now, if let's say there is a recent, we all know about the direct tax code that is come into action, and then I want to address that. I want to talk about something different on that. I definitely can, but that doesn't divert me from my specialization. Once, twice, yes, you can always talk about generic topics, topics which require attention, require change, but try to build on a specialization. And when I say specialization, it's something that you would be always talking upon. So definitely it has to be something that interests you, right? You can't be doing what your neighborhood is doing or what your friend is doing, because that's their specialization. Your specialization, identify. Being students, this is a very good opportunity. Some of you might be in inter final, you select subjects, you do your forms as per the new course. You can identify while you're reading different subjects, what is it that interests you, what is it that you like most, and accordingly you can build on your specialization. So first step of being an influencer is finding your specialization. Be a specialist, not a generalist. Let me tell you, specialist is a somebody who has depth of the subject matter. Generalist is somebody who talks on everything all the time. A specialist is something, or you can say a person who has, who talks about, or who showcases themselves as having certain strengths, and those strengths are the core areas of him or her speaking about, right? They have, they deal with or they talk about the same kind of challenges, problems in that area of specialization, and that's where they derive an expert status. On the other hand, if you're a generalist, obviously you would be talking about general concepts. As a chartered accountant, we talk on various topics. Again, the exposure becomes again to a lot of topics. What as a result happens that you are seen as somebody who is multidisciplinary, who is having different expertise, but not an expert in one thing. So that is where it is very important for you to be a specialist while you are speaking to someone, or that is where you find your niche. It's an activity that you'll have to do on your own when you go back home. Figure out on the various topics that you like, and then shortlist to one or two that you could be a specialist on. So that's the first part, that is to become the roadmap that I'm drawing for you. First roadmap step is finding your specialization. The second part of this journey of being an influencer is building credibility. Building credibility, I told you, thought leaders have to build credibility. Credibility, first we'll talk about credibility offline, and then you need to strategize that online. Why do I say offline? Because it's all about interaction and engagement. So how do you build credibility offline? Okay, you can answer the next question that's coming on the screen, how can you connect offline? I've given you some options to give you some insights. Waiting for answers. How do you connect offline? What would you do? Participate at events, connect with groups or forums, engage with students or professionals, or none of. Actually, I should have kept one more option, all of these. Participate at events 2, engage with professionals 2, participate at events 3. Okay, participate at events, participate at events. None of these. Who's this none of these? Okay, okay. Waiting for more answers. Come on. Engage with students, professionals 3. Okay. Connect with groups 3. Participate with events 3. 5. Okay. None of these one. Okay. Come on. 2 more minutes. More answers, please. Okay. Let us now discuss participate at events. What do you mean by participate at events? When I say participate at events, does it only mean attending events? Well, no. It means participating is speaking. You all have students forum wherever you are in whichever part. I am from the Western region. I know there is Vikasa. Central region, there is the Central Region Student Association. In the Southern region, there's Southern Region Student Association. And Northern region, Northern Students Association. Are you a part of that? Are you a part of not only being present in a WhatsApp group, but actually participating into that event? Not only participating in the event, take the next step, speak on that event, participate in terms of contributions, research papers, technical knowledge, being a master of ceremonies. Participate. Participation is the key. That is where people will start recognizing you. Let's say let me just give you a very simple example. I like international taxation. Okay. What do? I go to a study circle. I speak on international taxation. If I just go and attend international taxation topics, yes, I might network with a few people who are attendees there. But if I go and speak on that, the entire audience who's present would know me, right, for being at international taxation. And if I keep doing that consistently, repeatedly, you start being recognized as a brand, as a person, as a fin influencer, as a thought leader on that topic, right? Then people start, okay, fine. If you as a student are doing that in any of the students association, then somebody might want to refer you for a job opportunity. Oh, this person is good in taxation, international taxation. This is an opportunity. So network, speak. This is all offline that I'm talking about so far. Building credibility offline, speaking at events, contributing, writing articles, writing journals, contributing in journals, research papers, attending seminars, participating in seminars, talking to colleagues with similar kind of interests, figuring out, being on WhatsApp group, talking, discussing on topics. Still, these are offline, I would say. Okay, so your this offline model then becomes a proof for your online credibility, for your online work. And the next step is, of course, going digital, right? Some of you might already be on those digital platforms. But now, remember, I'm talking about the roadmap of being an influencer, being a thought leader. So I have to be offline or online, but I'll be speaking on the first part. That is, after I find my niche, my specialization, I'll always be speaking on that. So finding your niche, moving on to interacting offline, and then going digital. All right. So help me answer the question as to how will you connect digitally? Okay. Now, this is something that most of you would know. Digital platforms, you know better than I do. You know social media better than I do. There are so many social media platforms, but please stop being just about everywhere. Okay. When you talk about a thought influencer, about a person who's building the brand, pick up one or two social media platforms. If you talk about professionals, yes, I would talk about LinkedIn being one of the best platform for the same. Okay. What do you want from your audience? When you are building your digital platform, this is what you have to think about. First and foremost, what do you want from your audience? What do you want? Do you want that your audience should just listen to you? Then nobody's going to hit that like. Okay. What do you want your audience to do? You want your audience to engage, to interact. What sort of expectations you have from your audience? Okay. That is the first step. The next step is your audience's platform. Where is your entire audience there? Now, for example, if I am interested in talking about company audits, I know companies mainly are on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn becomes my prime platform. If I want to talk about income tax filing, income tax regulations, where are my majority of my individual income tax filers? They're on Instagram. Instagram becomes my first platform. So I'm not saying you cannot use the other, you can use anyone, but decide where your audience is. Whom do you want to reach out to? Okay, so first step is what do you want from your audience? Second, where is your audience's platform? Write content that works. Now again, I'm going back same to the first part, that is finding your niche. On your niche, you have to write content that engages, content that works. And that doesn't mean a copy paste of an article, copy paste of a regulation, or just stating the income tax laws. It has to be engaging, it has to be interactive, and it has to create that kind of engagement. So that is the content that works. Okay. Select your platform accordingly, basis the content. Now, if you want to, let's say, content that works, let's say, what is more visible? Videos. Now, I think all platforms today, be it Meta, Insta, or be it your LinkedIn, all videos are possible everywhere. But it depends on what you are speaking. Do you think textual and a image kind of a conversation works better for you? Use that, but be consistent on that. If you feel that videos work better, but again, video have a small span of attention, so you can use that. I'm not saying that, but what would you use depends on the kind of platform that you are on and what you feel creates better engagement for you. So that is where you are going to go digital. Now, that is the third step. So, first you find your niche, talk about it offline, build upon it by writing blogs, writing articles, being present on social media, and finally, the most important thing, whether offline or online, is about networking. Okay. So, that brings me to the next question for you to answer before I discuss about networking. How do you network? Please put your answers here. How do you network? You will engage with a post or a blog or attend event seminar or talk to people or none of these. How do you network? Please put your thoughts. How would you network? Given an opportunity, how would you network? How do you do that today? In simple words, how do you actually network? Do you talk to people? Do you engage with posts? Do you attend event seminar? What do you most often do? Mostly do? Okay. Attend events and seminar. 4, talk to people. 2, more responses, people, more responses, more responses. Come on, we have limited time. Waiting for some more responses. Come on, 2, 3 more responses. Okay. Okay, I'll leave it there. Let's understand how you can network. Most of you said, what was it? Attend events and seminar. Now, what do you do when you attend events and seminar? Attend like this, where you can see me, I can't see you, and we are just, I mean, it's a one-way dialogue. You people are not even answering on the link that I have given you. If you're attending like this, it's of no value. Okay, networking is that then you're not actually networking. Attending seminars, attend, talk to people, talk to speakers, talk to the participants who are there around, ask them why they are here, share why you are here, discuss on a topic that is the topic of discussion. I mean, if you've come to attend a seminar on, let's say, GST, then talk about it. Talk with your with the participants, because if you go back just attending and not networking with anybody, then you're not networking, right? So attending seminar is a good option, which 7 of you have selected. But what is important is to network in that seminar, to talk to people around. Okay, none of you selected the first option, engage with posts and blogs. Why not? I mean, you people have to be digital. You people might be writing posts, articles, blogs. You can definitely connect there, right? Ask a question, make a discussion, connect with professionals, collaborate, share, engage. One-on-one conversations with your connections. How many of you do that? On LinkedIn, when you are connected or when you join a new connect or some connection adds you or you add a connection, do you talk to that person on the chat window? Well, most of us don't. I started doing it lately, that I engage into a conversation. So I know most of you don't. It's important that you bridge that connection. It's important that you have a conversation with the person that you've added on your LinkedIn. Have a dialogue with that person, ask what they do, ask what you do, tell what you do, talk about your expertise. That is how you network. See, you need to know that people need to remember you. That is what is important as an influencer, as a thought leader, that people have to remember you. If you're just going to be adding that connection and keeping it aside, following it, and then waiting for somebody to like your post, doesn't work. If you write a post, send them on a personal message. Say, please share your thoughts on this. Talk to them. So that is where I say a one-on-one conversation with your connections online helps. Connect with professionals, connect with your principals, partners. Stay in touch. I'm still in touch with my entire team, with my principals from where I did my articleship from. It is important. Everyone is in different field of work, but it's great to connect, to collaborate. There have been a couple of projects that we've been working on together. So connect, collaborate, share, engage. That is what I mean by making that connection. The networking game talks all about being present and making your presence felt in the eyes of people. Constantly market your expertise. Okay, your specialization, the first part, finding your niche, the niche that you're going to be talking about, talk about it. Say that you're an expert in that. Share your thoughts, share your ideas, write or respond to blogs, posts on that relevant topic so that you are creating engagement to connect with people. Okay. This also, writing on social media, blogs, contents, posts, these all will help you create that connection. Staying connected on WhatsApp, a simple hi, a hello makes a big difference. Connecting to people who are there on your contact list. In my view, if somebody's on your contact list and you're not connected to them for more than 6 months, it's better you delete off. Otherwise, there's no point. Networking is all about connecting with a person, and I mean, it doesn't mean sending a good morning wish every morning, but definitely it means wishing them on different occasions or different birthdays if you remember. Okay, that is great. Be consistent. Somebody had asked the question, what is the importance of consistency? It's very important, because if you're not consistent, then your digital, offline, online just doesn't work, right? And be consistent doesn't mean that you keep your studies aside. There was another question, how do I manage being an influencer along with studies and exams? So to answer you, it is important because with your studies, I'm not saying that you do it every single day. You don't have to be talking about your niche every single day, but whenever you meet people, whenever you network people, whenever you write something online, make sure you're talking about that topic. That is what I mean by, being an influencer. Maybe your exam days, maybe 1 2 months, you might be just posting once a week or something like that, and otherwise you're posting it almost every single day. That is perfectly all right. But talk about it. Talk about your niche. Don't vanish away. Okay. That keeps you connected with people. Look into your, I mean, I'm sure even if you put your social medias off on exam days or on leaves, you might definitely be checking your posts, your, what you can say, your social media at least 1 hour once a week. So please make sure that you spend that time valuably. You might not necessarily be able to write a particular post and post it or talk or make a video about it, but at least create engagement. Read through your content, read through your post, reply to messages, create engagement by responding to the similar kind of content with your followers so that that shows that you are at least present. Okay, so that is where I mean consistency is important. Consistency, you have to be present all the time, whether it's digital or offline. Wherever you meet people, you talk about the same thing so that people connect with you. So now coming to the main crux of the story, and that is how do you do that? Okay, so this is the steps that you need to take. Okay, that is first find your niche, talk about it offline, then build a strong strategy online, and finally, the networking game that always works by staying connected. Now, talking about content, talking about how would your content be and how it should be, and how would you actually do that on a daily basis, there are certain tools of the trade that I'm going to share with you. Okay, so firstly, understand that your content should be capable of touching upon the three important E's. Which are these three important E's? Educate, engage, and empower. Every post should do this. Educate about your area of niche. So let's say I'm talking about taxation, international taxation to be very specific. So I educate about international taxation. So latest amendments, changes, I keep talking about that. So that is about educate. I'm just giving an example. Engage somebody who writes on international taxation. I go to their post and put a comment, I reply to it, I share my thoughts. Engage. And empower is every time I'm talking offline, I'm suggesting somebody, I'm talking on the same topic of international taxation. So engage, impact, that these are the three E's which create educate, engage, and empower. Educate, engage, and empower. Use these three E's in your post every single time, and your post should do this. If it's not doing this, you're not creating that impact. Okay, use stories from your practice, from your life. Okay, if you have experienced something, let's say I was if you I'm working on some international tax case or issue, and I find something different and I want to share that, I can share that in the form of a story, but without disclosing names. Okay, let's be very clear on this. Let's not mess up with the ICI guidelines. Do not disclose names. But yes, you can always bring a narrative and explain it in the form of a story. Okay. The other tools that you can use is, let us understand the content that actually works. What are the types of content that work? A 60-second explainer, a video. Most of you might be knowing that on social media, if you explain a point in the form of a video, it moves faster. So that is a good way of giving a 60-minute. We call it as a 60-minute, 60-second explainer short. So a 60-second explainer short, myth busting post. Okay, for example, uh, you know, what are the new misconceptions about the new direct tax code? Have you heard about it? Like it's bringing about a clarification on the direct tax code. So talk about it in that way. They are myth busting. Okay. For example, a lot of this I had seen during the changes that were done in the capital gain tax, where the indexation was removed. Everyone was talking about, okay, what could be the challenges about indexation moving out from our lives and things like that. So that could be a myth busting poll. And those were eye catchers, and those were the people who got a lot of views that time. Case studies, use examples. Okay, what happened before and what happened after. Before after situation, you can use that. What I learned from a client story, tell a story. Okay, again without taking names, you can use that. What are the tools you can use for creating that? I mean, I'm sure most of you know it better than I do, but I'll still make a mention of that. You can use posts with designs and all of that. You can use Canva for that with visual effects. Okay. You can use Grammarly for having a polished English. Okay. So if you want to write a post and you want to make it in a higher level English or a better English, you can use Grammarly. You can use your chat gpt for idea generation. Again, don't please copy paste, because you have to use your expertise onto it, because after all it has to talk about your expertise. You can use it, it's a good tool, you can use it for help, but I still prefer the old school method of searching vocabulary onto Google and making sure that I'm using better words in vocabulary. So you can use Grammarly also for that. You can there are Wordsmith, there is an site Wordsmith to get better words, so that you learn new words. So your choice of words become better in framing sentences and in articulation. So you can use all of that. Chat GPT is just a way to, I would say, to help you ideate. But after all, the idea has to be yours, the thought process has to be yours. Please do not copy paste. I repeat it again. Please do not just copy paste from Chat GPT. It's of no use. And it's very clearly visible. AI today is so powerful that it identifies all of that. So bring in your personalization to it. That is where you hold value, right? You as an individual hold value, you as a professional hold value. So it's important to do that as well. Okay. So these are a couple of things that you can do in your journey of being a thought leader, in being a pin influencer. However, there are many more things in terms of your content. Okay, it should be original. Your ideas should be original. Learn to be creative. You can use help from Google, you can use help from ChatGPT, but bring in your originality to the table, and just don't repost news. Add a story to it. Make it as a conversation. Make it that way. Say what others won't challenge. Okay, if something that is controversial, which could call for disputes of opinion, please discourage all of that. We are not here to just create noise. We are here to create engagement. We are here to create an impact. We are here to be an influencer, not just create noise. So don't just make noise. Don't just do, okay, if I'm posting something, somebody would write something and I will get comments and I'll get views just for the sake of it. Please don't do that. Okay, add a perspective, state a problem, give a solution. Write your concept and your problem solution. This is what I faced and this is how I solved it. This was a solution for that. Like recently, I'll tell you, while I was working with a startup, I observed that how they are just hurriedly working on what you can say on technology. It's a tech-based startup. So how they are working on technology alone, and they're not focusing on finance and other aspects, and what is their thought process behind keeping just few people onboarded. So I made it in the form of a story, bringing in the significance of a role of a finance professional in that area. So you can build up like that. That is what you can do. So add a perspective. Don't just state these are the problems, this is wrong, this is bad, this is negative. No, you're not there out to create that. You need to give a description to it. Okay, point out problems and bring in a narrative. Give solutions. Be a solution provider so that people understand what you are bringing to the table. That is more important. Of course, there are a lot of ways you can keep yourself updated. You can contribute onto blogs, contribute into articles. You can, keep yourself updated by reading a lot, by keeping yourself aware about technology, about the various tools that you have in terms of knowledge. Not only that, many of us fail to understand that, you read an amendment, you read a new guidance note. We just read it when we feel that we want to work on it or when we want to study for it. It's not for that. It's all about if you are genuinely, that again, I go back to the first point, finding your niche. If you're genuinely interested in a topic, you will read about it. You will research about it. You will figure out case laws, if any, for that, and you will be able to then articulate and write back onto that topic. It's all about being an expert in your field and then growing in that way. So basically, thought leadership starts with value, not with volume. You need to decide that you have to you're here, there, online, offline. But if you want to be a thought leader, you have to be able to create value. Okay. Not only that, you already have credibility as a professional or as a future professional. You're already having a credibility. Now it's all about building visibility. That's where the role of a thought leader and an influencer comes in. Be consistent. Start once a week. Start once a month, I would say. Start once a month. Come down to once a week. Maybe during exam times, maybe during times of pressure, you may again go back to once or twice a month, again come back to once a week, and then move ahead to maybe 3 days in a week or 2 days in a week, whatever your time suits, but be consistent. You are not just studying finance. Remember, you are shaping the future, and that is what is important. Remember, you don't need to be famous, you need to be valuable. What value you bring is more important than how popular you are. And that is what I personally believe. That, okay, if I want to write on something, if I'm genuinely interested, I will speak about it, I will write about it. So thought leadership is not for ego, it's for all about creating an impact. So yes, I'm open to questions, more questions if you have any. Now that we are in time, yeah. So we can open the floor for questions. Let me see if I have been able, and also please let me know if any of your questions went unanswered, because I have tried to cover all of them in my discussion, the ones which came in earlier. But is there anything else? I'm open for questions now.
Yeah, madam. Just now, madam, one question came. I have just said, should I collaborate with other CS or influencers?
Yes, of course, collaboration works a lot. You can collaborate with other chartered accountants and influencers. But remember, again, don't mince your thoughts. Be very clear on what you want to say. Definitely, you can collaborate. I did mention collaborate, network, collaborate. Yes, of course, collaborate with other CS. Yes.
Yes, madam. This is another question, madam. This, can introverts succeed as finance influencers?
Oh, okay, great. Can introverts succeed in being a fin influencer? Well, when you say you are an introvert, it only stops you from creating a video. You can always put up posts. You can always write content. You can contribute in research papers, writing of articles. And when you gain that confidence of actually speaking, please speak. Because people today are, the span of attention is so short that they want to see. So it takes effort. Okay, if you're talking about being an introvert, I was one, and now I speak. So it takes time and effort. If you want to work on yourself, that's a separate topic altogether. But yes, even as an introvert right now, what you can start is taking the baby steps of contributing, writing, and then slowly moving up to speaking and being an influencer in a bigger way. Yeah. How do I stay motivated in my growth is slow, and everyone's growth is slow initially, but it's all about thinking that you are here to talk on a particular topic. The minute you start thinking that you are here to get n number of followers, it doesn't work. You're here to create an impact in the mind. It could be a smaller set of audience, but make sure that your information is valuable. You're here to create value. I repeat that you're here to create value. Gradually, the numbers do increase. It takes time initially, and then later on, it will increase. Can I influence without a large following? Yes, of course, you can initially start. But okay, here there's a catch-22 situation which I would like to share. For example, now we are having this program right now over here. Okay, and all of you have friends across. Two of you in the attending the session, let's say A and B, two people write a blog on today's program. Now the thing that the program is happening right now is a fact, right? Now this fact is translated with different opinions in both the blogs, right? Blog by Mr. A and blog by Mr. B. Now when this blog goes out, whom do you think which blog would reach more? Obviously, the one who has more number of followers. That becomes a reality subsequently. So to answer this question, that can I influence without a large following? You cannot leave an impact in the minds of the people without having a large following. But you need to start small. You need, on day one, you will not get n number of followers, and then the journey doesn't begin like this. It has to be baby steps. People start noticing you, then they start believing in you, and then they finally trust you. That's how it works. So you have to start small to grow big. Okay. Should I specialize in a niche tax or keep my content broad? I would say always specialization. That was the crux of my discussion, that find your niche, find your specialization. That's the first part of the story. And again, you can't just say taxation audit like that. I said specialization means in taxation. What is that specialization? I would prefer that. If you just want to randomly start an experience, you can make a broad content if you are not clear. But sooner or later, you will have to catch a niche. Otherwise, you can't be, jack of all trades, master of none kind of situation. So that is where you can, it's important to have a niche. Today, you may not have it. Today, you can speak broadly, but in order to be an influencer, yes, you need to have your niche. What are the common mistakes new fin influencers make? Well, this is a journey ongoing. You make mistakes and you learn from those mistakes. Nobody learns from other people's mistakes. We all learn from our own mistakes. Okay. So common mistakes, if you ask me, that people make is that, giving up very easily. That is not being consistent. Second important mistake that people do is, okay, switching between topics. Okay, today I decided that I want to speak on this topic, and then you can speak on one or two. That's fine. But that is it. Okay. So these are two common mistakes that I see. How do thought leaders create new avenues? Use your creativity. Okay, creativity is limitless. ChatGPT still limits you to that. So creativity is limitless. So in order to create new avenues, you have to keep your mind updated. And to keep your mind updated, you have to read a lot, think a lot, be present all the time. All this matters. How do brands approach influencers for partnership? Okay, so brands will approach people for, once you get noticed in the eyes of public, after a certain level, brands will approach you for partnership. Alternately, if you want to collaborate with a particular brand, you can definitely connect with them over email and ask them. But again, make sure that if you're as a chartered accountant doing it, it is within the guidelines of ICAI. How do I handle negative comments or criticisms online? Okay, very interesting. Whenever you are out there, people will criticize you. Okay, it's a part of success. So when people criticize you, take it with a pinch of salt. I would say that stay away from negative and derogatory comments. Okay, stay away from writing negative or abusing anybody or using the wrong kind of words. But if you feel that it is really impacting you and you want to reply with valid reasons. How can LinkedIn help me become a thought leader in the CA field? Well, LinkedIn, so out of the various social media tools that or social media platforms that Instagram, LinkedIn, or WhatsApp or Meta, for professional growth, LinkedIn is the best platform, and therefore you need to brand yourself on LinkedIn first. Like, for example, you need, in that message box where you have to write about yourself, write about that area of specialization that you hold, write about your niche. Okay, that is most important. Use CA. I mean, if you're a qualified chartered accountant, use CA in front of your name. You can use that. Start writing. Just start writing. There is no question, no point that you should miss on. Initially, you will feel that okay, you are switching between topics, but then gradually you will find your niche. Okay, so make that effort. And finally, I would conclude by saying that you already have the knowledge. Now it's time to make it visible, accessible, and memorable. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am, Jyoti ma'am, for a wonderful, I think this was one of the brilliant understanding that these upcoming CA students must have gone through. They must be somebody, they must be confused, somebody must be anxious. Now I suppose these things has been subdued by this kind of discussions and analytical methodology what you have explained to them, and it will generate a kind of a dependency on their own capabilities and will try to work in their future. So now we are very much thankful, dear friends, for such a wonderful trainer which we had for this, who had a blend of intellect as well as inspiration. I hope you will be having a very great and a good time, and you will try to put your best efforts in getting yourself influenced and all things which relates to it. And whatever the speaker has told you, and I suppose what I got it that she has explained it through her own real journey, and which has transferred her into such a big sort of trainer to people like you, who will be blending knowledge and inspirations together when you will become a chartered accountant. Thanks again for such a lovely, madam, perfect blend of your offering to the students, which were they have, and which was, I think, is a very clear-cut assessment on their future as well as on their things. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you. It's always been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, and ma'am. Hope this is a run. Run means it's a reskill, upskill, and new skill, which ways we are talking, and it's a birth child of our vice chairman, CA Sanjeev Sanghi ji. So he will be very happy to be knowing that you have done. So maybe we will, in future, we will see another aspect where we can get your insights on these students so that they can have a light up their futures brightly for this our country. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
So we are close for this. Thank you, WebTech.